Well, first today at 4, we will continue following that breaking news we just heard from that ABC special report. Former President Donald Trump has been indicted by a Manhattan grand jury. We want to get right to Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kovaleski. Tony, a lot of questions following this announcement. Break down the most important aspects of what we just heard.
Well, Micah, obviously historic. We've had presidents that have been impeached before, but never now facing a criminal indictment. You heard the Manhattan grand jury returned that indictment, expected to be officially announced in the coming days. You know, this has been in the works for several days. Many thought it was going to happen last week, now coming forward today, a Thursday towards the end of the week. And what we're hearing from many insiders is that of all the investigations on the former president, this perhaps is the weakest. And many said that if they're going to come forward with the indictment, if they're going to go forward with these criminal charges, they darn well better make sure they are correct, accurate, and can successfully win this case. That is the question. Remember, in our country, we are innocent until proven guilty, and they will have to clearly prove that the president had some major influence. And these are charges of basically using hush money with a porn star. We've all heard the story multiple times. How this moves forward, what the president does from here. We just heard on ABC a little bit ago that one of their correspondents talked on the phone with President Trump, and he said, quote, "It's an attack on our country." He was then asked if he would turn himself in, and the reporter said President Trump at that point hung up the phone. So a lot to play out right here. We're going to be looking at a live camera, a live helicopter shot here of looks like Trump Tower in New York City. Obviously a lot of attention there. They had barricades up last week expecting a reaction. The president did call for his supporters to get out on the street and send a message when he called it an attack on the country just a few moments ago, clearly sending more of a message to his supporters. But this statement was interesting, and it comes from Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen. He released it within the hour. He said, quote, Michael Cohen sent a statement, I do not solace validating the adage that no one is above the law, not even the former president. Today's indictment is not the end of this chapter, but rather just the beginning. Cohen also said accountability matters, and I stand by my testimony and the evidence I have provided. So a lot of people reacting as this news is breaking. It is significant, Micah, and obviously there will be much more to come in the days ahead.
Well, Tony, I do have a question for you about just the process to get here, because this indictment is coming this from the grand jury, right? A jury of said peers is usually the case. So when it comes to the process to get here, I mean, this has been building up for a while. What's next?
Well, what is next is they will officially announce the charges, what they are charging the president with, and then they will start to extract the information. Obviously, a trial would be ahead, and you've got two sides here, because you've got the criminal side that we're now talking about, Micah, but also the political side. The president has announced he plans to run for the country's highest office in 2024. What this does to that and those intentions will also be a major part. Some saying this could energize the president's base, especially if this is not a successful prosecution. Others are laying out the groundwork. We have a statement here from Stormy Daniels' attorney. I'm going to read it to you right now. This is from Clark Brewster. The statement says, "The indictment of Donald Trump is no cause for joy. The hard work and conscientiousness of the grand jurors must be respected. Now let truth and justice prevail. No one is above the law." That's from Clark Brewster, the attorney for Stormy Daniels. And regards to his relationship with her. So a lot coming forward. We don't have an official statement yet from President Trump, only the statement we heard a few moments ago on ABC News' coverage, but it is going to be an interesting process. The next step will be if, when, how President Trump turns himself in. Obviously, many people watching for that right now. Micah?
All right, Tony, a lot to break down there, and we appreciate you doing so.